What's up everyone? I hope you're all doing well. This is going to be the first video in a series where I talk about one of my favourite video game series of all time. Arguably my favourite video game series of all time. The Mass Effect trilogy. Or as I call it, the Shepard trilogy. Because Mass Effect John's going to come out, we can't call it a trilogy anymore. And basically, the next couple of videos are going to be an analysis of Mass Effect 1, 2 and 3, the series as a whole. Sorry, when I say next couple of videos, they can go from from 10 to 50. Man, who knows? We'll see where it goes. Basically, I'm currently recording off an iPad. It's not a camera, I know, for no production, but what can you do? And sadly, for some reason, I can only seem to record up to 10 to 13 minutes at a time, so that's why I've split all this into several videos instead of longer videos like an hour or two. But this might work better for some people, if anyone else watches this at all. But anyway, enough of that, let's get started. The Mass Effect trilogy. It's a very special series for me because I've been an avid video gamer for a long time. I mean, I can't remember my life before video games, as sad as that may sound to me. I think it's awesome because video games are, as we all know, they're one of the greatest things ever. And Mass Effect, it really did a lot of interesting new things for video gaming. Probably the biggest, the fact that you could bring your choices from one game to the next. Now people argue, were these choices significant enough or varied enough? But the fact that you were able to do this from game to game to game was a pretty impressive feat, to say the least. And this all started with Mass Effect 1. I remember when I was in GameStop, I was just buying a bunch of second-hand games, like €7-10 each. And I found this random 360 game, Mass Effect. I liked the cover. I was like, oh, this looks good. I might give it a try. Little did I know what I was walking into. Started the game up, and from the second I started, I was enthralled. I was so engrossed in the mysterious sci-fi atmosphere that the game let off. Because Mass Effect 1, to me, always had this kind of mystery, thriller, horror, suspense type atmosphere. And I really liked it. It really connected to me, and I just grew attached to the characters instantly. I loved the whole dialogue wheel where you were able to choose how you respond in conversations. Gave you a bit more. It made you feel more like the character rather than watching a cutscene. It was really a well done thing, and it was simple. Like usually, this was done before, of course, but in other games, most of the time, especially in BioWare games, you would read out what the character would say, and then you click the option, he does it. But there's never really any like dialogue based. Well, there's been a couple, but there's never like a really heavily featured dialogue based game. Not that many anyway. And Mass Effect was one of the first true RPGs that gave you all these different choices what to say to people to really pull it off, and not just pull it off good, but pull it off exceptionally well. The voice acting in Mass Effect is really good. The first one, I will admit, has a couple of iffy voice acting here and there, but mostly it's amazing, and it just improves with 2 and 3. But of course, we should start where it always starts with RPGs, the character customization. Really good character customization. That's the deepest you'll find, but it gets the job done, and it's really it's a decent character customization. But I do like the 2 different voice actors they got for the male and female, femme Shep and male Shep. There was Jennifer Hale for the female Shepard, who was a fantastic voice actress, and Mark Meir for the female Shepard, and they both did a stellar job throughout the trilogy. And basically, when you're in the customization, it allows you to choose what you look like, and then it lets you choose what class you want to be. Now, these are all Mass Effect terms. There's a soldier, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. There's the Vanguard, which has like a mix of powers and guns. I can't believe. One second, I can't believe I'm just out of pulling the blank on what they call the powers. Oh my god, I know the term. I mean, I'm one of the biggest Mass Effect fans you'll ever find. I know suddenly I'm going on a blank. Is it biotics? Oh my god, I can't believe. This one moment now, this one thing where I just went blank on biotics really makes me wonder, are people going to believe that I'm actually a big Mass Effect fan. Well, anyway, can't dwell in the past, let's move on. Biotics and weapons you use in the Vanguard class. Then there's the Sentinel, which is more I think it's hacking based. I've never really used many of the classes. I used the Vanguard once or twice. The rest has been Soldier. I'm always Soldier, but basically there's all these different. There's the Sentinel, the Vanguard, the Infiltrator, the Engineer, the Soldier, and I believe there's probably one more class. And basically it's a mix of hacking abilities, well, tech abilities, biotic abilities, and weapons. But the Soldier is the only one where you can upgrade all your weapons, your guns. I like to keep it simple, okay? Especially in Mass Effect, there's so much lore and story to get through. I just want to keep it simple with the class list. But anyway, after you do that, you then decide, which I thought was a really nice feature, the origin of your character. And what is it? It gives you three choices. One of the choices is that you grew up in space with your mum and dad serving as in the Alliance, which is the military in Mass Effect, the human military, and you were traveling to spacecraft, and basically you enlisted after a while. Or you grew up in Earth, standard starting point, or you grew up in a colony that the humans colonized. I'm sorry for my stuttering. I'm not usually this bad. This is a bad first impression, damn it. Anyway, the last option is that you start off on a colony that humanity have colonized on another planet. It doesn't really go into specifics like much like what else happened in your origin story. It's just a brief explanation of where your background. But that's cool enough. But then they have a second part of it where you choose: are you a war hero, where you're decorated for an amazing accomplishment? Like, people see you and they're like, you are an exceptional soldier. You are the perfect poster boy for the Alliance. Are you a sole survivor, where you are the only one left after this crazy battle you were in? And then there's one. I'm not sure what the last one's called, but it basically implies that you're ruthless. You are willing to do what's necessary to get the job done. And I like this because it doesn't impact your character that much, but it's just a nice bit of flavour, a nice bit of extra detail, a nice little padding to flesh out your character just a little bit more, make it your own, because you decide what you want to do. And I like those type of things. It really just adds to the experience. And then after you finally get all that done, the game starts. And what I really like here is, it starts basically with, it has some text where it explains briefly what the Mass Effect relays are, which are basically these giant, what do we call it? They're these giant, I'm actually trying to figure out what's the best way to describe them. They're these giant mechanical structures with energy inside, which I believe is ESO, and it allows for faster than light travel with spacecraft. And basically, they call those mechanical structures the Mass Effect relays. And basically, it tells you how humanity discovered these different alien races, and basically now they are with their technology and society-wise. They're now a spacefaring race. And then it introduces us to a Shepard, well, our created character, walking throughout the ship. A nice cutscene. It kind of shows some crew members on the ship that we will soon become to know as the Normandy working, and you just see the layout of the ship as Shepard is walking through. And then he stops at the brig. No, not the brig. Oh my god. At the helm. There we go. Oh my god, I am terrible today. At the helm, and then there's Joker, who is the sarcastic but always hilarious pilot of the Normandy. And he's having an argument with Caden. And basically, from this point on, I'm just thinking, is this one big cutscene? Soon they'll let me play the game. No, it turns out that this was all in game. This wasn't a cutscene, because the second Joker and Caden stop arguing, and your captain of that ship, Captain Anderson, tells you that they want Shepard, what happens? The dialogue wheel shows up and lets you pick what you say. So this isn't a cutscene. This is actually it's a cutscene in a way, but it's all in game. And I thought that was really cool, really nice touch. And it really showed. It really made you believe. Well, it made me believe I was going to be in for something a bit better than your typical video game story in terms of presentation and dialogue, because you can already tell, like, it's not, the dialogue is not groundbreaking.